I love to start off my videos like that. Okay. I'm insane, man. I'm insane. Um, what this video going to be about? It's going to be about strong tribes versus weak tribes. Who are the strong tribes in the world? Who are the weak tribes in the world? Okay, and I just have this conversation with this female who's. I had to redo this video, but I don't need to like write things down because I know exactly what I want to say. I didn't say the intro. Did you notice that? But anyway, we was having this discussion about she's engaged to this guy, and she was a virgin when before she met him, and I said that's good that you was a virgin. Okay, um, understand this fact. Okay, here, if you want to know if a guy has a strong gene to have a strong tribe, he will always have multiple wives, and his wife will still stay with him. Okay. But if he did marry each one or something like that, I wouldn't. I don't marry multiple times. I don't do that. I don't believe in multiple marriages. I just believe in just one time and that's it. Unless she's believing in polygyny, because the stronger tribes come from if a man is upfront about polygyny with women, and the weaker tribes of men always have problems in their marriages, or they keep getting married, or they get pimped out by a female to get encouraged to marry them, even though they should know better not to get married, and also to sign a prenup, because signing a prenup is a very important thing to do these days in time, especially if you live in the Western worlds. And I made it very clear. Okay, that's really all I want to say. If you disagree with me, please write it in the comment section. Don't you agree that alpha men has multiple wives? In the animal kingdom, most of the animals gravitate towards the male. Okay, there's no marriage or no ceremony there. Okay, we are all mammals. It's just the white man's laws and their religious belief systems and their indoctrinations force people to have enough fear so they can't do what they want to do when it comes to loving multiple people. It's like some sort of taboo. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, where the fuck do you get that from? I don't know. Okay, I don't know, but I know that if women can marry a man and be clever enough to sneak around his back, that man's getting taken advantage of. So he's not a true alpha. He's supposed to have them locked up in the house doing what they were supposed to be doing as to hit their queens. Or some people call them servants or slaves, but they're not slaves. They chose that path. It's a choice. Okay, like me, I told my wife in advance. I said, Alpha, I did tell you this. Let me get your sister and so forth, so we can have a better relationship and psychologicals. Okay, because when women are alone, when mono di mono, monogamous relationships. I always say monogamous. Monogamous relationships are really not more successful than polygynous relationships. And so people who are in monogamous relationships are basically those guys who are just betas. Okay, they don't know, they haven't been trained to look at the outcome of how a strong male should have multiple wives and multiple children. And a lot of people don't understand how families should work. Should a family just only occur with one child in the womb, or should a family occur in multiple wombs at one time? Because it really comes down to that. Because when I hear a man saying, okay, you got 2 kids, that stops. And I'm like, damn, that's all you want? Okay, you just want 2 children or 1 wife? Okay, I'm like, why don't you want to make it bigger in society? Okay, because family is business. So I don't see why can't you have multiple wives? But he'll be like, no, I can't find them. Okay, he probably wouldn't even mention polygyny. Okay, polygyny is the act. It's a very specific term for a polygamous type of relationship. Polygyny is when a man has multiple wives. Polyandry is when a female has multiple husbands, which doesn't benefit her at all. She's just receiving a whole lot of dicks, and she can probably benefit by adopting, okay, but other than that, I don't see the big purpose on how a female should just receive a lot of dicks, okay? Because I think that's a lustful thing. But for a man, it's not really lustful because he's trying to procreate, okay? Now, you don't have to do none of these things, okay? But if you just want your children to be your seed, okay, and your genetics, and you want to spread, and you have strong genes, that's a good thing. If you don't want to get married at all and you just want to adopt, that's a good thing too. You just got to train the children, train someone else's seeds, and that could be kind of difficult, okay? The one thing I learned though is that the more daughters you have, the more your lineage is not that strong. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like you have more boys and shit, you can have more warriors, okay? And I have two daughters, but I'm like, I just gotta keep trying, okay? I want boys. I really don't really appreciate girls too much until I noticed there's a pattern because of my history and my past. I believe that women are more disloyal and more unfaithful and more of a narcissistic daughters, just in general, okay? From my experiences, not yours, okay? And I don't care about your statistics, I'm saying from what I experienced firsthand, daughters are very conniving, very manipulative. But the boys, you could easily get along with boys. And this is why I made that video a little while ago, boys against some girls. Boys actually think on a different capacity than girls. And though my daughter may have my genes in so many ways, okay, it's just that, I still fear that she may start the trend of lying. But since my wife kind of like, put her in school, I fear for the worst, but maybe she might not want to be hanging with the crowd, okay? Maybe she may not want to use drugs or alcohol in behind the scenes. Maybe she might not be like other females. I don't know. Okay. But I usually do things passively, so I don't really care too much about the outcome with daughters too much unless she makes the wrong decision, then I can just abandon her because I did everything I possibly could do, and there's nothing I can do if she's already been distracted by society. But as you should already know, that socializing is a bad construct for most people because they don't have the discipline to, accept everybody. So they just want to do what they want to do. This girls just want to have fun, like Cyndi Lauper, and that's a feminine trait. But strong tribes, okay, are usually those men, again, who have polygyny relationships with multiple women. King Solomon was the greatest of them all. Okay, King Solomon is the wisest and smartest, more powerful than Jesus, as a matter of fact, regardless of sins, because everyone has sins, even Jesus, even Allah, okay, Elijah Muhammad, everyone has sins, okay, and when someone says they don't have sins, was you there? Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, if you believe I don't have sins either. Okay, so was you there? You don't know. I keep telling people I don't got no sins. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but people think people are pure all the time. And if you want to really know if someone has strong genes, it's the better critical thinking skills they have, and the more likely they hear their inner voice that tells them something's not right or some shit. The subconscious things to just pop up like red flags everywhere, and then you'll know their lineage is very good at studying, okay, or memorization, or organizing, or strategies, using strategies. Then I'm just talking. I'm telling the truth now here. Are you paying attention to me? You want something, don't you? Don't you want something from me? I remember this female. I can sense a female looking at my lips, thinking I'm gonna go right down between her and stuff, and start sucking and slurping and shit. I would never do that shit, okay? Especially if you're not a virgin, okay? But anyway, and I digress here. So I did talk about the different types of genes out there, and I also talk about different tribes that are stronger. Okay, what else is there to say about strong tribes versus weak tribes? I was telling her how a marriage doesn't benefit men, but it only benefits women. And all those who are trapped in fucking religion are caught in fear. Okay, and if you're caught in fear, you can't do what you want to do because the white man's indoctrination, which is basically religion and everything else all around you, imperialists, okay, and the Jewish empires have used their race on destra energy against everyone, against the world. And so now it's time to move forward now and understand that if you go to Shaka Zulu, you'll find out those are one of the most powerful tribes of all the world. And then you have to go back and understand why this happened. Why don't nobody believe in polygyny no more? Because the tribes are weakening because of the indoctrination cycle. But I always tell females in advance, okay, if you don't want to accept this, we can do polygyny. It makes things better. And I tell her the psychology, but she might not hear me because she's selfish because she wasn't trained proficient enough in order to understand how to share and how to give her love. Because I said before, most women don't have a lot of things in common with men. Okay, it's not just a sexual thing now. Sex, it's intensity fades. Men don't always want sex unless you're talking to a whoremonger, and if he always wants sex with you, who else is he going to have sex with? Okay, he has a weak trait. There's a lot of weak people out there, men and women. And very rarely you'll find a man who says, "Oh, you're a virgin," or you and asks for certain standards that they're supposed to be done. Very rarely. Okay, so most people are not really of stronger tribes. They're broken up into multitudes of fucking, you know, diversity. Well, let me get on out here. It's past 10 minutes again, and I think I said everything I could possibly say about strong traits, strong tribes and traits versus weak tribes. Okay, simply put, if people believe in polygyny, then they have stronger tribes. If they don't believe in polygyny, they have weaker tribes. Peace.